we are here in Perth for the AEGC conference, and I'm very excited. We've got Sarah Gleesson from iCRAG joining us today. Thank you for talking to me, Sarah.
No problem. I'm really, really happy to be here.
I know, it's really nice to meet you finally. We've been talking for quite a while now, so it's good to see you in the flesh.
Yeah.
So you were one of the keynote speakers today, and your talk was around some sediment-hosted copper mineralisation in Germany.
That's right.
Tell me everything, all the highlights.
So as you know, at the moment, copper is a big topic globally because of, the green technologies, and sediment-hosted copper deposits are some of the major sources of copper on the planet. But these deposits only occur in a few really weird basins.
Right.
So one of the things, one of those basins is in Germany and Poland. And these deposits are called the Kupferschiefer deposits. So Kupfer is the German for copper, and Schiefer means shale. So it's the copper shale deposits.
Cool. Yeah.
And they're Permian deposits, so they're quite young, which means they're not as deformed and complicated as some of the deposits that you have in Africa or Australia. So you sort of hope that you can figure out some of the processes in those deposits, then maybe it'll help understand the more complex metamorphosed deposits that you have in other places. So these deposits are formed in a sedimentary basin, and you basically have a whole bunch of sandstones in that basin, and then you have marine transgression comes in and deposits this really, really thin shale on top. And then on top of that, you get limestones and evaporites, and the copper mineralization is sort of in maybe a meter or a meter and a half in this shale. And there are active mines in Poland, and that layer runs for like 60 kilometers, and they're mining different points of that layer in Poland. And in Germany, they mined it in the 1500s and up until a few places up until the 80s. But the German Kupferschiefer is a little bit deeper. So it's harder to explore for. And but there is interest now because, of course, the copper price is so high in trying to revisit some of these things on the German side of the border and see if anybody can find a deposit in Germany.
So at the moment, is it quite a rare finding, this deposit?
It's a real challenge because I think on the German side, people are exploring, it's at least 500 meters deep. So you're really trying to see, image rocks that just aren't there. The actual layer with the mineralization is really thin. So it's not like it really jumps out at you in geophysics or something. And it's really expensive to drill those deep drill holes. So it's challenging. So for that reason, it's important to really understand some of the processes that you think might form the deposits, because that will help you focus in on areas, So for example, one of the things that might be happening is you have a really salty brine in the basin that's carrying this copper. And that brine is sort of maybe moving through aquifers and up against topographic highs. And at the topographic highs, it meets sulfur, and that's where you get your ore deposit. So then maybe you're trying to find those topographic highs in the basin to focus your exploration strategiges.
So has your project on this research wrapped up now, or what's next?
No, we're still working on we haven't solved everything yet. Still plenty
Always
to
mysteries,
do. Plenty to do. So we're still interested in working on this topic. And now I was working in Germany before. Now I've moved to iCRAG in Dublin. And of course we have Murray Hitzman there, who's a world expert in these sorts of deposits. And we have Simon Jones, who works on these deposits in Kazakhstan. And Koen Tormans also works with Murray in the Central African Copper Belt. So now we have a little team of people.
All in different regions.
Working in different regions. So we can really pull the story apart, I think, and look at the differences between different regions and the commonalities, and give a really great overarching picture of this.
That's awesome. What got you into your specialty? Like, what's been your path to get
So for me, I grew up in a small town that nobody will have ever heard of called Nina in Central Ireland.
Yep.
And there was a lead zinc mine there.
Yep.
And it closed when I was 8. But I do remember we had a sparkly rock in our house that I remember really well. I really loved this sparkly rock. And I think that's sort of what got me into it. And then I suppose it was through geography in school, because there was no geology in secondary school in Ireland. So, you know, we did volcanoes and all that cool stuff in geography. And so I really got into that. And so I decided actually when I was 14 that I wanted to be a geologist.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really like, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. I've decided. So I went home and I remember I told my dad, I'm going to be a geologist. And my dad said, you can't be a geologist, you're a girl. And I went, Now, fortunately, my best friend in school, her older sister was a geologist. So I went, that's not true. Deirdre Lewis is a geologist.
I know one.
Yeah, no, you don't know what you're talking about. So I just ignored that and just kept going from there. And went to Dublin to do my undergraduate degree. And then I did a PhD in London. And then I was in England for 9 years. Then I was in Canada for 14 years. And then in Germany for 10 years. And now I've come back to Ireland after 33 years out of the country. I'm back. So it's kind of...
Must feel nice to be back home.
Yeah, it feels really cool. And, you know, every part of the journey, I feel like I learned different skills that now I can kind of bring back home. You know, so.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad you persevered, because, it's all the work that you've presented on is just fascinating. What would be some advice that you would give other early career geoscientists?
So I think it's really important that you think about, you know, not just having a job, but having a career.
Yep.
And that means you need to think about the skills, things that you're good at, but the things you need to learn. And I think then you have to be quite calculating about trying to find either the job or the people that will teach you those skills that you need to get where you're going.
Yeah.
And so, you know, one of the classic things I think a lot of students, you know, who are thinking about doing a master's or a PhD, they tend to think about where they want to live instead of thinking about their supervisor, because having a really good supervisor that really supervises can make all the difference, you know? And so, you know, I think if you're thinking about, for example, doing graduate studies, get on the web and contact other graduate students and ask them about their supervisors. Why not?
That is,
you know?
And it's funny. So I had a chat with another interviewer this week, Fiona, and she was saying the same sort of messaging. So with her advice was all around your manager, and it feels like, there's a theme here, and I feel like it really can carve what your path looks like. Getting the right support around you. So
just have a bit of planning there and get information that will help you make the best decision.
Yes.
You know, I think that's actually really important, as opposed to, you know, just, oh, I live here and I just want to stay here. And, you know, so yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you for the advice. And thank you for talking to us today.
No problem.
I'm really glad we finally got to do this. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. It was really great. Yeah. Good. Thanks.